Hi, this is Franklin Allaire, State Director for the Hawaii State Science Olympiad, and I want to welcome you to part one of our series for basic training in the Science Olympiad program. When we do face-to-face coaches workshops all over the state of Hawaii, one of the concerns that we get is from people who, first of all, are unable to come to the coaches workshops for one reason or another, but then also from coaches who come to the workshops and might need a refresher in some of the information that we cover. So this is an experiment that we're trying by taking some of the information that we would normally cover at a coach's workshop and placing it online on the internet, so that people who are interested in learning more about Science Olympiad, coaches who are unable to attend a coach's workshop, or coaches that that attend these workshops are able to get some of that basic information, get some reminders about that basic information so that they can be effective coaches in the Science Olympiad program here in Hawaii. So this is part one. We're going to try to keep this to about 10 minutes or so I apologize if we go over time. But what we're going to be covering in this particular video is sort of an introduction to the Science Olympiad program, especially the Science Olympiad program that we have here in Hawaii. So we're going to start first of all with our mission. The mission of the Hawaii State Science Olympiad, also known as HSSO, is that we are dedicated to improving the quality of K-12 science education in Hawaii. We feel that all students deserve a high-quality science education, and our mission is to improve it to the best of our ability. Now, right now, the Science Olympiad program in Hawaii is focused on secondary schools and students, but we are in the process of putting together a program that focuses on elementary schools and students as well. So stay tuned for that. We have several goals in mind when it comes to our mission. Our first goal is, of course, to increase male, female, and minority interest in science. Our second goal is to create a technologically literate workforce, not only for the state of Hawaii, but also for our nation and our world. And also to provide recognition for outstanding achievement by both students and teachers in science. One of the most frustrating things for me as a science teacher is that I'm always seeing athletics on the front page of the newspaper and making the news on TV. Whereas there are some fantastic achievements being made by students and teachers all over the state of Hawaii that just aren't being recognized. So Science Olympiad tries to provide an avenue for those students and those teachers to be recognized for their achievements in science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, how do we meet our goals? We do this in a few different ways. First, our goals get achieved by encouraging support and supporting participation in Science Olympiad tournaments. We'll talk more about those tournaments a little bit later in this presentation and in more detail in another presentation. We encourage teachers to incorporate Science Olympiad into their classroom curriculum. I'm a science teacher, so I do incorporate Science Olympiad events into my curriculum as summative events and activities. And lastly, we provide professional development in a variety of ways. Again, this is an experiment that we're trying. It doesn't replace the what you can get from a face-to-face coaches workshop. But again, for those coaches who attend the workshop and may need a refresher, for those coaches who may not be able to attend a workshop, or even just for those students and teachers who might want to know a little bit more about the Science Olympiad program, this video is for you. So who are we? Who are the people that run the Hawaii State Science Olympiad? Well, we're just like you. We're public and private science educators. We have college and university science educators on our board. We also have on our board representatives from science research, education, and nonprofit organizations, parents, and of course we are all members of Hawaii's science community. You'll see us at meetings, you'll see us at various functions. Don't be afraid of us, say hi to us, and we're more than happy to talk to you about everything and anything STEM related. One of the biggest questions that we get, probably right, and that we cover right at the beginning of every coach's workshop that we do, even when it's not a coach's workshop, is where does Science Olympiad fit into the grand scheme of different science-related competitions? Well, Science Olympiad is a team-based, standards-based, project-based activity that focuses on real-world STEM applications. And in that, we are an alternative and a complement to, first of all, science fairs, science and engineering bowls, and single subject competitions like robotics. We're not trying to replace these things. In fact, many students that participate in Science Olympiad also participate in science fair, science bowls, and robotics programs and other single subject competitions. You have to remember, Science Olympiad, yes, is a competition. All of these other things are competitions, but we're not in competition with each other. We are all on the same team, and we all have the same goal in mind, and that is to get students inspired to go into STEM-related fields. Now, one of the other things that we see Science Olympiad as is a clearinghouse for communication and collaboration between the industry, schools, and community. One of the concerns and complaints that we always get, and we get this both from schools and from industry, is that they have difficulty making connections with each other. So we really see Science Olympiad as a way to make those connections between industry leaders with expertise in various science-related fields, and of course students and teachers in public, private, charter, and homeschools all over the state of Hawaii. So as I mentioned before, Science Olympiad is standards-based. Science Olympiad events, all 46 of them nationwide, meet Hawaii content and performance standards as well as national science standards. I'm a high school teacher and I use them in my classroom, and I hope that you will too. And that's because Science Olympiad events are easily adapted and integrated into your classroom's curriculum. I use them frequently as summative assessments, and that's because one of the things that I always try to do is I try to illustrate curriculum standards in action. I want to see if my students can do the things that they say they know. Any student can take a test and regurgitate the information that they've learned, but it really takes knowing the information to be able to do it. And that's what Science Olympiad is all about. It's doing the science. By using Science Olympiad events in the classroom, it emphasizes a very close relationship between teaching and assessment, and it encourages and highlights the elements of teaching standards, assessment standards, program standards, and science education system standards that we all know and love. Now, even though Science Olympiad has not been around too long in Hawaii, we've been around for almost 10 years, which when you compare it to something like Science Fair that's been around for over 50 years, we're still kind of the new kid in town, although Science Olympiad has existed nationwide for almost 30 years. But in those almost 10 years of being around, we have achieved some pretty cool things. First of all, we've been holding annual statewide tournaments since 2005, and last year we held 5 regional tournaments around the state of Hawaii. We had a tournament on Hawai'i Island in association with Imiloa Astronomy Center and UH Hilo. We had a tournament on Kauai with a partnership with Kauai Community College. We had a tournament on Maui with a partnership with UH Maui College, and we had 2 tournaments on Oahu, one at Leeward Community College and one at Windward Community College. And at this point in time, we are currently looking into the possibility of adding more regional tournaments to our lineup. Now in 2012, just last year, we set a record for participation in Science Olympiad in Hawaii with 70 public, private, charter, and homeschool teams participating statewide. Now that equates to approximately 1,200 students and teachers participating in the Science Olympiad program, and it was awesome to see. Since 2008, we've been sending teams to the National Science Olympiad, and in Hawaii there's always a concern. It's kind of a inferiority complex that we have here in Hawaii, where we think that we can't compete with our peers on the continental U.S. Well, I am pleased to say that in Science Olympiad, our schools are competing at the level and even exceeding many of their peers in Science Olympiad. So, for instance, in 2009, Mililani High School was awarded the High School Spirit Award, which is actually a very prestigious award for a team to get. It's given to 1 middle school and 1 high school at the national tournament that best demonstrates sportsmanship, spirit of competition, personal pride, school spirit, things like that. And Mililani High School was given this award for really demonstrating the Aloha spirit at the competition, and it received a standing ovation from all of the teams and volunteers and judges and everybody that was at the awards ceremony. It was quite emotional, and it was really a neat thing to see. In 2010, we actually started getting really, really close to winning some awards. At the national tournament, they give awards starting at 6th place for each of the events. And in 2010, Mililani High School, again attending the national tournament, was ranked 10th in the nation in not only elevated bridge, but also technical problem solving. This is an engineering event and an inquiry nature of science event, respectively. And Maui Prep just missed getting a medal when they were ranked 7th in the nation. Now, of course, everybody likes to get a medal. Everybody likes to get ranked 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place. But just to put this into perspective, in 2010, there were about 6,000 teams participating in Science Olympiad nationwide. For Mililani High School to be ranked 10th, for Maui Prep to be ranked 7th in the nation in a couple of events out of 6,000 schools, we think is a pretty darn good achievement for those schools, and it speaks volumes about the teachers and the students involved in Science Olympiad at those particular schools. But in 2012, we broke through the barrier and we got our first national medal when Iolani Middle School placed 5th in the nation in water quality. It was very exciting. The kids were very humbled, and actually they were pretty funny. They thought that the announcers made a mistake, and they weren't sure if they were supposed to go up there. But they got them. They got their medals, and you can see those pictures on our website, www.hsso.org. Speaking of our website, wrapping up here, we want to encourage everybody that's watching this to get connected. You're not the only coach out there. You're not the only person out there. And the frustrations that you might be having, the questions that you might have, everybody's had those. And there are people that can answer these questions and help to alleviate those frustrations. So we ask that you get connected. And there are 3 main ways that you can get connected. First, of course, is through our website, hsso.org. Secondly is that you can always email us at isciolympiad@gmail.com. And thirdly, we are on Facebook. So we want to encourage you guys to like our Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/HiSciOlympiad. And you can post things on Science Olympiad. We post things on that page. And so it's a really great way to keep informed of what's going on. So that's going to do it for part 1. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again in part 2 of this series.